Scan it, try it like it, create it. Today we're going to be doing a fun ink smooshing technique for Tag It Tuesday. So I have my water spray bottle, and then I have 3 colors of distressed oxide. Now you could use any colors that you're interested in, but I'm using broken china, fossilized amber, and dusty concord. So, and I have my tag ready, and I have a piece of plastic. You can see this is just something off of an item I purchased. So I'm just using really basically some plastic packaging. So we're going to start with the lightest color, which is the yellow, and I'm just going to put that onto my plastic. And then we're going to give it a squirt with water. And then we want to transfer that to our tag. Now, this kind of ink smooshing technique lets us control more where the ink is going to go on our tag. And you may find that we want to do a drying off in between. This seems to be drying rather quickly, so I think we're going to be okay for our next color. But I'm going to go in now with, let's go with broken china. And I'm going to go ahead and put that on my piece of plastic. And give it a spritz of water. And then bring it over to our tag. And control where I place those colors. Alright. I can go ahead and do a little mist of water over the top. Let that set for a minute to give it some activity. And then come in either with a dry tissue, a dry baby wipe. You can see I keep some dry baby wipes. You could use paper towel and pick up some of that color. So let's look to see what we have going on so far. Now you can see that that kind of started to blend the color and lighten some up also. So I think we'll go in just with a few more squirts. And I actually like the idea of some bigger drops. Let those set for a minute. And then we'll go in and pick up. All right, and so now our tag is pretty damp, and so I'm going to bring in my heat tool and let it dry a little bit. All right, so then the next color I'm going to go in is with Dusty Concord, and this is a darker color. And so I'm going to try to control where it goes on here. So I've got water on my ink, and I'm going to go working it into some of these kind of white areas. And you can see with the more water, I'm getting a more blended look to the ink. Get some purple speckles in the middle. All right. So I think I want to bring in some more blue into the center area here. And get that really wet, so it runs a little bit. And I'm even getting some drips. It's not bad. I can go ahead and pick some of that up too. All right, I'm going to dry it again. And let's bring in our yellow and fill in some of these areas. I want to go with a really wet yellow. I'm going to push down so that I really do smoosh out some of that yellow color on there. And since I've got some on my glass mat, I'm going to go ahead and pick that up too. All right, now let's drop some color or some water on there. Grab another dry baby wipe here. Go in and pick up some of that color. Maybe even do a little spritzing. And dry that off again. Alright, so now we're just fine tuning. I'm going to go in and darken up some of the purple area. And I'm just going to try to go over where my ink already is. And then I have some ink on my glass mat. I'll go ahead and pick it up with the white area. And once again, I'm going to sprinkle some water on there. And then pick those drops up. And let's go ahead and dry that again. Alright, so I got close up. You can see what's happening. Now if I take my baby wipe and just go in and burnish a little bit on the surface, I might get some of that white oxide to go away. But overall, I really like the depth and the look of all of those colors. So let's go ahead and take our blue and go around the edge. You can see I'm being very generous with my swiping and even getting some on the front of the card or the tag, and I'm okay with that. It blends in. It's the right color. We've used it already, so it's just giving us a brighter amount of that. And so we need to let this sit and dry for a few minutes. I'll go ahead and hit it with a heat tool one more time, and then we'll come back and finish it off. All right, so let's finish this tag off. I went ahead and dried things. I die cut out a rose, and it was in white. And it just looks too stark. And I thought, okay, well, we just won't use it. And then I thought, well, wait a minute. What if I do some ink smooshing with the fossilized amber? And so I put the fossilized amber on the glass mat. I squirted it with water. I rubbed the rose in it and gave it a dry. So you can see here how the white, well, it has yellow on it now. So it's a little bit muted than just stark white. But I like the look of the yellow on there a whole lot because it blends in more. And then I grabbed this word that I had die cut it out already, and it relates to the purple, and so I think that's gonna look nice on there as well. So I'm just gonna grab my zig glue, and let's just bring this back in our plastic piece and use it to put glue on the back. Hopefully that's enough. And I want to lay that down here at an angle. Okay. And then we'll do the same with the word. And then along the bottom here. And then I'm just going to put a little bit of glue on the corner of this paper. Get underneath this petal I missed. And get that to stick down. All right. So there is our ink smooshing tag. Hope you enjoyed the tutorial.